Hey everyone, I know it's been a couple weeks since I posted a video. I've been actually really busy with work. With it being summer, I've been getting a lot more hours than I'm used to, and also I've been trying to post every Friday, but I keep forgetting or I'm working and I'm like, oh gosh, I missed my chance. So also I'm kind of lacking inspiration. I have a lot of video ideas, but I don't know if they're gonna work or if I personally just want to make a video like that every week or every other week. So I'm not sure what the format is yet, but I want to try to make more regular posts rather than sporadic ones, because I haven't been getting as many DVDs. So if I just relied on that, it would be a few more weeks until I made another video. So this week I'm going to talk about my favorite TV shows. I don't think I've talked a lot about TV shows on this channel, so but most of these actually have been some of my favorites for many years now, and a lot of them are far newer ones, but I think most of these will stay in my top 10 for a while. Well, most of them. I don't know about some of them, but you never know. Yeah, so here's my top 10 favorite TV shows. One of the more recent ones I had watched is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I put this at number 10 because chances are I might watch another TV show that I end up liking more, and then that will be bumped off my top 10. But right now, I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I finished it a couple months ago, I believe, and I just loved it so much more than I ever thought. It took me actually a few attempts to actually watch all of it, and then I ended up just being obsessed with it. I love Spike and I love Buffy, and I just love them all really. I love Giles is probably my favorite, and I love Anya, and it was so more funny than I thought it was gonna be. It was really enjoyable, and it's so cheesy at first, but then it actually gets a little more mythical and a little more supernatural rather than just cheesy, oh there's a scary monster, like we have to solve the day, like the Scooby Gang, but eventually becomes a little more serious and end up having huge longer story plot lines and stuff, but it's so good. I really loved it more than I thought it would, because I'm not a big vampire or werewolf or witch fan or whatever they call it, so it's really great. I think you should watch it. It's all 7 seasons are on Netflix, so watch it. Sombrero Giles. Number 9 is Dexter. This used to be one of my favorite shows ever, if not like my favorite, and I mentioned this in past updates, but because of the last couple seasons, my love for it really went down. I stopped obsessing over it as I used to, but when the first 4 seasons were out and I had them all on DVD, or if not only the first 3 seasons, I was obsessed and watched them all the time. The second season is probably my favorite season because just so much happened in that season, but I don't know, it kind of went downhill from that after season 5, or when season 5 occurred, but I'll always remember how much I loved it so much. It's a quality show. Michael C. Hall just knocked it out of the ballpark. He is just the perfect serial killer. Well, hopefully he's really not, but it's quality over anything. I thought it was just well written and well shot and well done. Number 8 is Doctor Who. Now, while I love Doctor Who, it's not my favorite show. While I had points of obsessing over it, and I watched a lot of it or rewatched a lot of it, lately I haven't been rewatching a lot of the episodes. I don't know why, I just don't feel up for it, so that's why it's kind of lower on my list right now. I mean, maybe it will be bumped up once the new season comes out with Peter Capaldi, but I just don't know. I mean, my favorite Doctor is the 11th Doctor, but for some reason, I don't know, just there hasn't been that many great episodes. I'm not sure. I wasn't a huge fan of Amy, so I didn't really fall in love with season 5 or 6 as much as the older seasons. Maybe the 10th Doctor is my favorite. I don't know. I really liked Clara, and I call her Clara, sorry, Clara, the American way, and the 11th Doctor, Hooflay. They're one of my OTPs, so I don't know, but I still love it very much. I think it's one of the best shows ever. It's definitely quality, and I love the message that it portrays, and I just love British shows. I don't know. I think everybody should watch Doctor Who at least once, because it's just an interesting concept, and it's really fun and enjoyable, and there's just so many lovable characters, whether they're main characters or supporting or minor or whatever. Number 7 is My Mad Fat Diary, which is one of the newer ones on my list. I feel like it's one of those that's probably going to drop on my list at some point, but right now I am so obsessed with this show. I think season 2 was annoying, but also really, really well written. I love the way it ended up, and I love the way that they portray body image. I was going to post a video on this a long time ago when the second season ended, but I decided not to because I didn't know if I was wanting to or whatnot. But basically, if you don't know what My Mad Fat Diary is, a show on E4, which is in England, the same channel that was on Skins and Misfits, so a great channel. It is about a girl who is a bigger girl who has a lot of self body image problems and self self-consciousness and has a lot of insecurities and just doesn't like herself and who she is, and has so many internal thoughts, and eventually she becomes friends with this really nice, wonderful group. Oh, this is also based in the 90s, which is another reason why I love it so much, because the music, oh my god, Oasis. But she ends up dating one of the guys in the group, and she becomes best friends with another guy in the group, and she kind of just, she finds her element, but she's still really insecure, and when she dates this guy, she feels she's not worthy enough, and it's just such a wonderfully well-written show. I can't believe that it's like, this type of show needs to be out there, especially in America or all around the world, because it happens every day, and not just to teenage girls. It's just a wonderful, important message that happens in this show, and I just love that near the second season she just embraces herself more and has more confidence, and not only in her body but as her personality and her image towards others, and also helping her friends who also maybe she didn't realize had problems as well with their body image. So it's just a really great message, and it's so enjoyable and so well written. I love Finn and Ray and Archie, and they're just all wonderful. Another show I am so obsessed with, and I feel like while it's more of the newer show, I think it will be on my list for a while because it is just so well written, and that is Shameless. Oh my god, Ian and Mickey are like my top OTP right now. I'm obsessed with them. They are just so phenomenal. The way that they write Mickey Milkovich is just so perfect. Basically, if you don't know what Shameless is, get up on it. It's not on Netflix though, so or Netflix Instant, but you can probably find it somewhere. It's on Showtime, so it's really hard to find, but I am obsessed with this show. It's like a dysfunctional family in Chicago where the older sister has to raise all like these kids, and I think there's 6 of them, and as the seasons go on, you know, they have their own problems, especially Fiona, the older sister, and their drunk deadbeat dad who's around, and then their bipolar mom who left them, and it's just so dysfunctional. There's one of the brothers named Ian who ends up, you find out actually from the beginning he's gay, and he knows it, and he's proud of it, but he doesn't let anyone know at the time because they're like on the down low because they're in the ghetto of Chicago, so you know he's worried about being beat up and stuff, and judged because he wants to contain like this hard ass, you know, badass kind of thing. So eventually he meets Mickey, and they just form this relationship. He's like, Mickey is just, their family, the Milkoviches are even more fucked up than the Gallaghers. They're just so dysfunctional, but they work so well, and then they finally are dating. Oh god, it's so beautiful. And all the characters, you just love them all, and you just want to know more about their lives. It's just, there's so many different characters, not just their family, the Milkoviches, but you know, what's her, Sheila, and all of them, and it's just so strange, but it works so well. It's so fun and so dramatic and like heart-wrenching. And then Kev and V, and they're just all, I'm talking too much about the show. Please watch Shameless. You will fall in love with Ian and Mickey, and if not, you're crazy. Number 5 is 30 Rock. I have watched this show so many times in just a short period of time because I've only recently watched the show within the last couple years. I didn't think I was gonna like it because I wasn't really sure, because I was always really unsure about The Office and Parks and Recreation and that kind of format, the NBC kind of format, but I ended up really loving it. I think the whole cast is just so great. Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, their characters' friendship on there is like one of the best TV friendships of all time in my opinion. Jack and Liz, good god, Lemon. They're just, oh god, it's like so funny and so strange and just so perfectly written. Oh my god, I just love Tina Fey. Number 4 is Friends. I have watched the show consecutively so many times. I can't even think about how many times it's been now, but Friends is a classic. If you have not watched Friends, where have you been like the last 20 years? Like, it's so phenomenal. It's just a classic. Everybody has seen at least one episode of Friends. I have watched all of them. I own all of them. I love them all so much. It's one of those shows where I just always am laughing. I think it's a show that I will watch for the rest of my life, and I feel like that one will always be on my top 10, if not my top 5. So, number 3 is Glee. I have a love-hate relationship with Glee. If you don't know from my other channel, which is my only specifically Glee channel, but yeah, I mean, Glee has helped me through so many things in the past 3 years, but it's also been, well, more than 3 years actually, almost 4. It's one of those shows where I have up and down feelings with, because while I love a lot of the characters, I hate a lot of them as well, and the show, obviously, it's notorious for going downhill with writing style, and They kind of ruined a lot of characters, and it's just like, I'm very thankful for it, for helping me with, you know, a lot of self-esteem problems and image on society and whatnot, and it's helped me with their messages a lot. With so many episodes, they have like this sort of after school special kind of vibe. After, like, I think during the second season, it's more like, you know, they talk more about the issues that are going on in modern times, and like every single episode is like a different issue from each different character, and a lot of those helped me and I related to very much so. And then the music, of course, helped me open my eyes to so many different things, pop culture in general, really, because without the musicals and the songs and the references and all that, I would have been such a different person without the show. And them having Kurt, were just like one of the first openly gay characters that have just made it popularized, and Kurt and Blaine, of course, which made a big thing, and I'm very thankful for that and the cast and whatnot. But of course they have like their they make me want to pull my hair out sometimes, because it's like, no, why are you doing this, why? But I think maybe that's why, because I was just so obsessed with it, that I was just so affected by it emotionally, that I just, you know, let it get to me. The last two shows are probably tied for the first, because I watch both of them so many times, but right now I'm gonna say Will and Grace is my second favorite show, and I love it so much. I've been watching it for so many years now. It's one of those shows where I didn't watch as a child, but because obviously I was too young to watch it, but definitely in my early teen years I came across it, and since then I've been obsessed. I've watched it at least 4 or 5 consecutively times. I own them all on DVD. It's one of those shows that just changed everything for television and just kind of impacted the world in so many different ways, because it was the first show where it's like an openly gay character, and not just one but two, and both had relationships, and it was on NBC, which is one of the biggest networks, and yeah, it was monumental. And of course, Will and Grace has a wonderful, amazing cast, which all of them have won Emmys over the period of the show, which was Deborah Messing, Aaron McCormick, Sean Hayes, and Megan Mullally, who are all fantastic in their own right. Will and Grace was a show that just was so hilarious and just made me feel comfortable, and I felt like this was the show for me, and it still is, and I love it so much. And my number one favorite show at the moment is The Office. I'm actually rewatching The Office for like the 3rd time in like only a couple months. I'm so obsessed with this show. It is just so fucking funny. The cast is just so perfect. Even though Michael Scott is like the most annoying boss in the whole world, it's just so good. I love everybody. I love Jim and Pam, obviously, and Dwight and Angela and Andy, and all of those guys. They're just so perfect. I don't know. The show was so unexpected for me. I watched the first episode, like the first 10 minutes, I could not get into it, and then I tried it again for some reason, and I just fell in love, and the same thing happened with 30 Rock, and I don't know, you just have to give shows another chance, because they end up surprising you, and you just end up loving it more than you ever imagined. It's those shows where you just don't expect it and ends up being your favorites. Those are my 10 favorite shows at the moment. Like I said, some may change over time, but you never know. Also, I did not mention this, but I moved locations to film. I feel like I need something in the background more than just like my bed. Although I do have a new Mia Wallace Pulp Fiction poster over my bed, so. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope to do another video within the next Friday or the Friday after that. I hope to post every Friday, if not at some point every week or every other week. I want to try to get a more regulated schedule. So yeah, talk to you guys later.